Somebody responded to this and said that Shannon Sharpe's daughter needed $30,000 for something and he denied her that $30,000. Well, rumors is that he gave Becky $23 million to settle this lawsuit. That's life-changing money, friend. So, if y'all don't know, a $50 million lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe alleging sexual assault and battery was recently settled. It was heading to court, but I don't think Shannon Sharpe wanted to be done like P. Diddy. And I know a lot of people are going to say, how could he be done like P. Diddy? Well, it's pretty simple. All it takes is one non-black woman to come out with the accusation she dated you for a while, and then you became abusive, and then you raped her on multiple occasions, and then after that, here comes all the others out the woodworks looking for a payday because you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Once they do that, then the feds will get involved. And the feds will give your cases, your accusations, your civil lawsuits to a group of people to sit around a table so they could look at each case and see if there is a pattern. If there is a pattern, they can go ahead and say, let's turn this into a grand jury indictment. This is what happened to Diddy, and this could have easily happened to Shannon Sharpe. Had Diddy paid Cassie, everybody knows nothing that Diddy is going through right now would have happened. Cassie would have collected her money quietly, and she would have made off into the sunset and not said a word. But because he didn't pay that money, it went to court. It went public. And once it went public, the feds took the opportunity to do what they did, like I just explained, and the grand jury indictment happened. In Shannon Sharpe's case, don't you notice, as soon as this young lady, Gabriella, the OnlyFans model, as soon as she made her accusations public, in came another woman who Shannon used to be with, and then another one of that as well. So Shannon was kind of smart to nip it in the bud, but he was dumb as a box of rocks to be as old as he is, messing with a girl that was that young, thinking she only wanted to have fun with him. I remember he did an interview where he was talking to Ocho Cinco, and Unc said, I don't want that. I want what I want, and I can afford it. Well, I guess he can afford to pay $23 million for some SnowBunny booty. A $50 million lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe is what Gabriella Zuniga, and let's talk about her name in a minute, brought against Shannon Sharpe, alleging sexual assault and battery, and the fact that, or the accusation, quote unquote, that he raped her on multiple occasions. You can't be sitting up there at ESPN doing any kind of gig on national TV with rape accusations flying around, especially your big, strong, buck, black, dark-skinned man, and a little white girl is screaming, he raped me. So, of course, Shannon lost his gig at ESPN, right? $100 million gig gone down the drain. Well, according to them, he took a break so he could sort this stuff out. So while the specific terms of that settlement were not disclosed, there are reports circulating now that the amount was $23 million. However, disclaimer here, Shannon or his legal team or the other side have not publicly said how much the settlement was. But just like in Diddy's case, they did not publicly say who Jane was, but we quickly found out that Jane was 50 Cent's baby mama. So they don't keep stuff under wraps. They just say, let's not talk about it for legality's sake. So it's very possible that the amount that has been given to the public is absolutely true. Listen, accusations. The woman is identified as Gabriella Zuniga. That name, Zuniga, Z-U-N-I-G-A. Think of Z-O-O, zoo, Niga, a nigga from the zoo nigga mentality. All about survival, all about getting to that money by any means necessary, elevating one's life by any means necessary, even if I gotta get it out the mud, even if I gotta get it from a rich ninja. Gabriella Zoo nigga, initially referred to as Jane Doe, she filed that lawsuit in April of 2025. Think about this. Her lawsuit was filed in April of 2025, and by July, she was a millionaire. Wow. I know Shannon has never looked at any black woman and given her $1 million in his entire life. Matter of fact, they're saying that in his entire NFL career, and I believe he played 13 seasons. That's 13 years in the NFL of back-breaking work. He accumulated about $22 million in his entire NFL season. And then he paid out $23 million to a OnlyFans SnowBunny. Oh my goodness. So this is more than he made in his entire NFL career. Well, Shannon is kind of safe because outside of the NFL, he is one of the lucky ones who went on to make even more money and more money and more money and more money than he ever made in the NFL. So he still got some money. But talk about a transference of wealth. Damn. This big strong man just worked his black ass off and then took all that money and threw it right back into the white community. Moved it right out of the black community. Shannon Sharpe said that, hey, I vehemently deny all these allegations. This lawsuit is a shakedown and I will not be deterred. Asserting that the relationship was consensual, and his legal team has stated that they had evidence, including text messages and videos, to support Shannon's claim that the sexual encounters were always consensual and that she and her lawyers were after his money. Well, they reached a settlement on July 18th of 2025. I guess this is where you talk big, but then behind the scenes, you're scared to go to trial, right? If they believed that much in all the evidence they had, why didn't they not take it to trial? Do they have $23 million to just give away? The lawsuit was settled and it was dismissed with prejudice, which means she can never file that lawsuit again against Shannon. So it's out the way, it's gone for good. However, the nasty taste still lingers in everybody's mouth. Was it true? Was it true and that's the reason why he paid to make it disappear? Or was he just afraid to take it to trial and get a bad judgment even though he knows he wasn't in the wrong? A lot of people are going to use this against him over the years. You were not clean-cut exonerated from this. You did not take it to trial and get found not guilty. With all due respect to Sean P. Diddy Combs, Puffy's case, now Puffy can look people dead in the eyes and he can say, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm the one that endured incarceration while I was accused, not proven guilty, and I couldn't even get bail. And I put my money and my reputation on the line. And when they gave me a plea deal, I said, fuck no, I'm not taking that plea deal because I believe in my innocence. Let's take this shit to trial. And they said to Diddy, you could be in prison for a minimum of 35 years if you go to trial and blow it and get hit with these RICO charges. That man said, I am not guilty and I am going to trial. I'm fighting for my rights and my life. And he went to trial with a jury of 12. And guess what? He beat all them damn charges. So now he owns the right to walk around and tell people, I don't give a fuck what you say. I went to trial. A jury of 12, who most of them wasn't even my kind of people, found me not guilty of all the things I was accused of, right? So Shannon, on the other hand, this is going to be blowing back in his face for years to come. You raped that girl and then you settled with your millions of dollars. If you didn't have millions of dollars to pay her, you would have been in prison. People are going to be saying that. And although he might say, that's not how it went, I just didn't want the troubles and I wanted to get back to my life. And I had other deals on the table that this situation was messing up. So I wanted to get it out the way and continue with my business, which a lot of us know that that's exactly what it is. But on Shannon's behalf, people are going to use this against him and he won't have a defense for it. Okay, so the amount that was given to her is unconfirmed at this moment. I'm guessing that everybody signed some paperwork that said you cannot go out into the public and talk about how much money was exchanged behind the scenes. So don't call my name anymore. I won't call your name. We don't speak on each other. We go our separate ways. Well, it looks like the amount got leaked. And all I'm saying is, if it's really $23 million that Becky SnowBunny walked away with off of Shannon Sharpe, that is a fucking come up. That is big money in the bank, life-changing, generational changing money, right? ESPN, he had announced that he would temporarily step away from his duties at ESPN to address the allegations, with plans to return before the NFL preseason begins. We're going to see if he actually returns and stays with ESPN, or if this has damaged him so badly that ESPN cannot use him anymore and they can't recover from this. In the meantime, Gabriella Zuniga, as her name is, she happily announced her retirement from OnlyFans shortly after that settlement was reached. In short, this ninja paid me so much money that I can retire and ride off into the sunset. But hey, stay tuned, because now I have enough money to finance all the projects I've been brainstorming and business ideas I've been thinking about over the years. So I have a lot more things coming. Just keep your eyes this way, she said as she threw up the deuces and ran down the beach. Leave your comments in the comments section below. The message in this one is, men, and I'm not talking about just black men, but particularly black men. If you are a high value man with a lot earning potential or straight up earning, if you are high profile in any way, you need to keep your dick in your pants, beat that shit in the shower and go to sleep, or exercise way greater self-control, because the consequences are too severe and you often end up being the loser, even if you are not guilty of what it is you've been accused of, as we will see from here on out with Shannon Sharpe. I'll catch y'all on the next video. It's BrainFLoTv. Hit that subscribe button. I'm out. Peace.